Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like you to take off your shoes. Maybe it's a strange request, but your feet will like it after a hot day like this. So please do. Even your socks. Except when you're having stockings, then you have an excuse. So you can wobble your toes. The skin of your feet can breathe. And then I would ask you to stand on your 2 feet. Bare feet. How long is it ago that you were walking bare feet, standing bare feet, except in the bathroom? And then I go a little bit further with my question. I would like you to turn you to your neighbor and give him or her a big hug. And turn around to another one. There are a lot of more. Yeah. I love it when you do this. Thank you so much. You make me very happy. So you can sit down and wobble a little bit with your toes again, feeling your feet. And notice what is also happening inside. What is more happening, except for the laughter and the kind of hippie intervention from the Netherlands or something like that. There may be these little tiny voices. I wish I had put clean socks on when I knew this. That might be one of those voices. Or after a hot day, I think I smell, and now I have to hug someone. Or my breath after a long day. So there are all kinds of thoughts. Who or what is actually problematizing? It is not your feet, really, they like it. And probably it's also not your neighbor, because he or she will love the embrace, because sometimes it's the only one who is touching someone in an evening like this. So what is problematizing actually? Who is the one who's making all kinds of voices, all kinds of critical voices? That is a part of us, a part of our ego structure. It is the ego, it is the mind. And the mind is coming up with all kinds of excuses, all kinds of problems, all kinds of making things little or bringing excuses. So our mind, the ego, is actually a storyteller. And the stories are not always so nice. What can you do? What can you do next to the ego? There are some disciplines, most of them from the Eastern traditions. They say you can kill the ego. Well, actually, the ego is constructed to survive everything, and it doesn't like to commit suicide. So that's not such a good idea. But you can train the ego, you can train the mind. Imagine that you are not just the stories, but imagine that you are a vast, huge space that is giving room to all the stories. And all the stories are coming up and are disappearing again, like the waves in the ocean. No wave is the same, and every wave has a begin and an ending. Consciousness is like our oceans. They give space for everything. Consciousness, like the ocean, doesn't have a gatekeeper who is saying to a wave, "You're not such a kind wave. I throw you away." The ocean never do it. Consciousness either. So every thought that is arising, every feeling or every sensation, everything that arises is already led through by the ocean, by consciousness. And actually, that is acceptance. Acceptance of all the things what is going to happen in your life, what is going on in your life. Acceptance is not something an ego is doing. Oh, I accept this, or I can't accept this, I quit. That's the doer, that's the ego. Acceptance is the realization that the ocean let all the waves go through without judgment. What does it mean for our work, the idea we are just, our deepest self is just like the ocean, is just vast, huge space, full of capacity for everything that wants to arise? What does it mean for our work? We did see this evening beautiful pictures. We heard intense stories. And I think, just like I did in the back, I was touched by all of them very, very deeply. And when you do your work on this planet, when you do your work in a war zone, when you do your work in a zone with great, great poverty, and you can be really, really touched by what you are seeing, then do not let your gatekeeper push the feeling away, but dive into the wave. Grab a hand and say to someone, "I feel your pain, I sense your pain, and I'm here." And in that magic moment of silence, you can just sit together. And what is expressing then? What is going through us? What is shining through us? And you could also see it with the former speakers. Then you see shining through one's real being, one's real essence, one's real love. Love for this planet, love for your beloved ones, love for the people you work with. And that is only possible when you keep your mind open and do not let your mind act as a gatekeeper. With a gatekeeper, you cannot dive into life itself and contain all the things that are and all the creations you have inside yourself to express your love. Just as the ocean is an expression of all the living thing inside her. And every wave is an expression, a manifestation of the ocean itself. So be like the waves. Go to the shore. Don't let your gatekeeper act as a wave manager. Quit the wave manager. Thank you. We have, I think, a reception upstairs. It is offered to us. You can put your shoes on, but it's not necessary.